compact sedan, and it has to be the best bang for your buck.
And you don't want it to suck.
Well, we got the 2025 Kia K4 in the EX trim here to show you guys, and this isn't a top trim level.
No.
It's also not an entry trim level.
No.
It is the volume trim level, and for good reason. This car packs so much that we have to talk about it to you today.
Definitely.
So Charlotte and I will give you a full, in-depth, live streamed walkthrough going over everything that you'll get in the EX trim level. Quick disclaimer though, this video is done live, so there's no editing, there's no promise that nothing will happen to us during the video. And yeah, that's all I've got for the live disclaimer. But we're also based in Canada, so this is a Canadian spec model. If you are in the States, your equipment may vary, but I believe you guys still do get an EX model. It shouldn't be too different.
I will also say today is Monday, and if you're watching the stream and it's not Monday, that's okay. But every Monday at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a dedicated sit-down Q&A video. So if you guys have questions about anything in the Kia and Hyundai lineup or world or general automotive things, feel free to hop on and ask us. We're there pretty much every week. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it. Starting off with the exterior, where we'll also talk about powertrain, fuel efficiency, and the tech and safety functions that come not only standard, but also in addition on the EX model. On the front end, this is my favorite thing to talk about, and it is the style of this vehicle. So the K4 is a brand new vehicle to Kia's lineup. I believe we received our first one in October of 2024, so it's still fresh and new. You may be thinking, what about the Kia Forte? This does not look like the Kia Forte. And that is because it is not the Forte. The K4 is a vehicle of its own. It's actually larger than the Kia Forte, and the only thing they really share is powertrains, which I'll talk about more later. For your headlamps, you have a full LED main headlamp. That's going to be your main lights, the ones that are going to guide you throughout the night. You'll also have a full LED for your daytime running lights, except instead of being bright white, they are amber and they are bold. So style-wise, they look fantastic, but they'll also function as your turn signal indicators, which, again, very important for others to see your turn signal indicators so they know when you're turning. Bold, bright, and they just look so dang good. In terms of styling, the EX model does look a little bit more premium than the LX below it, and a lot of that will come down to the wheel design that we have, which I'll show you guys in a few minutes. For the front end though, you do have a little bit of this brushed chrome, as well as a nice stamped in Kia emblem in a brushed aluminum finish. The paint color we have here today is our black, which is actually a no charge paint color. So if you like the all black look on a vehicle, no extra charge, pretty nice. We also have a radar plate right in the smack dab center of our lower grille here. So this rectangular plate serves a huge purpose in the advanced safety of your vehicle. It'll monitor the distance of your car and the vehicle ahead of you. So if you do have your smart cruise control that's standard on this car active, it can slow you down all the way to complete stop and go traffic situation and then bring you right back up to speed again. You as a driver have a button on your steering wheel to change the following distance, so between 4 car lengths down to 1, and you can even go in and tweak things like the reaction time and the acceleration time, so it feels more like a realistic driving approach. Again, in styling, you'll have a lot of horizontal lines on the Kia K4, giving it a wider feel. It is a little bit of a wider car if you are comparing it to other compact sedans. However, it is not hard to drive and certainly not hard to park. Gonna pop the hood now so we can talk powertrain. There's 2 powertrain options on the Kia K4. However, if you're looking at the EX model, you'll get the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. So this engine will provide you with 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque. Certainly not race car numbers, but again, this is not a race car. At 26,495 Canadian, we're not racing anybody. But you'll have plenty of get up and go for highway speeds and exceptional fuel efficiency. So this powertrain with this wheel combo is rated for about 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, which again, very good. That is going to be combining both city and highway values. So if you are someone who does a lot or a majority of highway driving for your commute, you'll see that number be lower. It's also going to come down to how you as a person drive. If you're flooring it at every green light, your fuel efficiency may vary. But if you're a little easier on the throttle, you can see those numbers do a whole lot better. So again, horsepower 147 and torque 132 pound-feet. For your transmission, it's an IVT, which stands for Intelligent Variable Transmission. It operates very similar to a CVT, except you know all those nightmares you heard about Nissan in particular? Yeah, don't worry about that. Mechanically, they are different, and this vehicle has artificial shift points. So it doesn't feel like it's constantly droning or waiting to shift into a gear. It does have those fake shift points to mimic a normal automatic transmission, and it feels much more responsive. Speaking on the topic of responsive, this vehicle in particular, so it starts on the EX trim level. You'll also get a drive mode select button that will allow you to put it in normal mode or sport mode, with sport mode feeling a little bit of extra fun. It's not going to add horsepower, but it'll let you rev up the vehicle a little longer to get the most out of your fake gears, and just gives you more responsive and nice drive feel. For your wheels, we have a nice 17-inch alloy. Now this starts on the EX model, and just like what I said earlier, this is where you'll get some of the major design enhancements. The trim level below this, the LX, or introductory trim level here in Canada, actually has a steel wheel with a cover, which is by no means is bad, but it's certainly not as stylish as this. I think the wheel setup is fantastic. It's a nice machined finished alloy with a gloss black center, and then you get your machine finished elements towards the ends. Very aggressive looking too. I will say with them being a 17-inch alloy, they won't be too expensive. If you do opt to buy winter tires, you can go down to a 16 if you'd like, or get another 17, and it shouldn't be too costly. You're not changing 20-inch wheels, so very nice. For your tire, it's a Kumo all-season soleless tire. I was about to say Majesty. It's a Kumo soleless. And the tire size is 225/45 R17s. Those are your stock tires. Surrounding your wheels, you have a little bit of a black plastic arch, which may not look the most stylish, but let me tell you, if you do drive in Canada, we got salt, we got road debris. It is nice to have that extra barrier protection, so all of that isn't getting kicked up to your paint. For your mirrors, body color with an LED turn signal indicator, which actually starts on this trim level here, and a little bit of black plastic cladding on the bottom. This will also be your introductory trim level to blind spot collision avoidance assist. So that is that icon that will illuminate in your mirror if there's a vehicle in your left or right blind spot, but the vehicle also has the capability of hitting the brakes to avoid a blind spot collision. On the topic of collision avoidance, this vehicle also has forward-facing collision avoidance. So if I'm driving the car and I go to make a left at a busy intersection and someone flies through, my vehicle will warn me, and then if I fail to react as a driver, it can brake for me. It sees a whole array of different collision systems or collision situations and can avoid and act for you in those circumstances. For convenience, we do have proximity entry, so as long as the key's on you, you can walk up to the driver or passenger side, press that button there, which will unlock the car, press it again to lock it when you're done, and never really have to touch your key unless you want to. Another thing I want to point out has to do with the windshield on this vehicle. So right in the very center, we have a camera. That camera is what's used for the forward collision avoidance, but also your lane safety systems. So we have two different lane safety systems on this car. One is called lane keep assist. The other one's called lane follow assist. They sound so different even when I try to explain the differences to you. Sorry, they sound so similar even when I try to explain the differences to you, but they are so different. Lane keep assist will essentially warn you with a beep and a little bit of correction if you start to depart from your lane, so think kind of swerve or ride the edge, and it'll give you a minor adjustment. Lane follow assist sees what's happening in advance, so if there's a bend in the road, and steers for you. So no beeping at all, just correction. Neither of which will work if you're on a dirt road, but that's besides the point. Now let's look at the body of the vehicle. So I'll have Charlotte take a couple steps back. You guys can see we have a nice fastback-like style rear end. I love the shape of this vehicle. It gives it a very sporty look, even if you're not getting the sport turbocharged model, and it looks different than the other compact sedans on the road. The tail lamps are a mix of LEDs and regular bulbs with a very futuristic shape, just like what we see up at the front. All of the lines on this vehicle definitely give it a more wide feel too, which adds to that sporty flair. Your badging on the back is the same as what we have on the front, so it's brushed aluminum. You do get a release for your lift gate. There we go. I always want to say tailgate. It's lift gate, hatch, whatever you guys want to call it. The door that opens back here for your trunk. On the topic of trunk space, we have 413 liters of cargo space. If that number means nothing to you, well, I'll show you me going inside, and hopefully that does something. Very easy to hop in and out of the trunk if that's something that's a selling point for you.
Definitely.
I have room to fully extend my legs, and my feet are not touching the sidewall there. My back isn't touching either, so there is a good amount of space. I am probably 5'4", and I have longer legs than a torso.
Disclaimer.
In case you were wondering. Now I will pick up the floorboard to show you guys what we got underneath, because this is kind of a big deal. We have a temporary spare tire, something that is very, very rare in the compact segment. Matter of fact, the closest competitor to this vehicle, the Hyundai Elantra, does not have that, so win for Kia, that's for sure. To close your liftgate, a lot of people don't use this, that's myself included, but today I remembered. You got your pull tab, and then you just give it a little bit of force, and I still touch the paint. So old habits die hard, I guess. On the topic of the rear end, before we finish off with the fuel tank size, we also get rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist on this vehicle, which is always the hardest thing for me to say, but it is something that is very easy to love. So if you are reversing this vehicle out of a parking spot and the vehicle senses that people are walking behind your car or a vehicle is traveling behind your vehicle, it will alert you in the cabin. It'll give you a notification on the screen, it'll beep at you, and then it will apply brake force if it senses you are going to hit that. All of these functions can be turned off, but I highly recommend leaving them on because a lot of them can save your butt and other people's butts. Let's talk fuel efficiency. Again, one more time, 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and it is a 47-liter fuel tank, so not a large tank by any means to fill. You're probably looking around 60 to 65 bucks with current Ontario pricing, but of course, fuel efficiency or fuel prices will vary wherever you are. That's it for me. Charlotte will take you guys on a tour on the inside.
All right, thank you, Gabby, so much for doing that. And I hope that if you guys weren't able to pick up on that, but there's a lot of active safety around this vehicle and everything like what Gabby said, from the cameras that we have to the front, to the sensors, or not the sensors, but to the safety features that we have in the rear. And all of it is in a vehicle that looks good too and has alloys. So those are just some of the reasons why we think that this is going to be one of the best buys and why we think that it's really competitive in this trim. Now that's only, of course, going to increase as we take a look at the interior, which Gabby's giving a good pan of. You can see our seats, they are a gray cloth, and then they are manual, so 6-way manual adjustment. I can still get in it, which is nice. The true test will be if I can get out of it. But again, here you can just go and see the seat, moving it forwards, backwards. You can, of course, adjust your backrest, and then your height adjustment is right here. If we take a look at the driver's side door, I like that we still have a bit of detail here. We have black plastic, but then also carrying over with some of that gray cloth. For comfort features, you do have your heated seats with 3 levels of heat and your heated steering wheel with 2 levels of heat, which is very nice, and chrome painted door handles. Mirrors are electronically controlled. Our driver's window is one touch with obstacle detection and regular automatic windows for everyone else. The EX trim is also where you're going to see 6 speakers instead of the standard 4. So we're already moving up a little bit to give you a better sound experience. The road noise for the K4, this does have improved dampening for road noise, so definitely very, very quiet ride. So you can just focus on listening to your media and enjoying it. On this side, brightness adjuster, electronic parking brake, and your traction control, and some vents with, again, a little bit more chrome detailing. All right, you want to come around?
Joseph said, ironically, when you said speakers, it cracked, like the sound.
Oh, it was probably my voice cracking too. It was probably double jeopardy.
Oh no. I will say, some of you guys are not a fan of it. I certainly am, though. Amber lights, or amber daytime running lights, I should say, make such a big difference in just the overall aesthetic of the vehicle. I think they look so good, and definitely separate Kia's lineup from some of its competitors. A lot of people have them for your marker lights, but not for your full daytime running light.
So here's Gabby's seat. Again, you can get a better look at the cloth that we have. These are a little bit more of a premium cloth, which makes it easier for spills. And the seats themselves have increased padding than what we've seen before on things like either the Elantra and also the Forte. So super comfortable. Yeah.
Height adjustable.
Height adjustable, so matching seats. It's a twin set. Oh, love that. All right, your steering wheel. So it is a little bit more of a funky design, flat on the top, flat on the bottom with 2-spoke design. This is also going to be the starting trim for drive modes, which Gabby mentioned. So from here, you can use your normal and sport mode. So you can have fun with those. And then again, Gabby talked about our safety features on the front. So here's where you're going to be able to use them. So you can enable cruise control, but then also adjust it here with the lane following and the distance here. You have a notes icon, which you can use to cycle through the various different points to see things like your tire pressure, how the vehicle responds to you as a driver, and then also active safety features and when they're enabled. This side, media controls, so pick between your media modes, your virtual assistant, calling, and a favorites button too. And then 4.2-inch screen in the center, which we've already taken a look at with a digital speedometer and tachometer as well. And I like the little hash design. I think it looks really cool, very sporty, very modern. Standard is a 12.3-inch multimedia screen with the capacity for wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and over-the-air software updates. Win, win, win. So the fact that you're getting all of that wrapped up in this really nice package, I think is fantastic. Also, if you can't tell, SiriusXM is available as well. If you want to adjust those safety features like Gabby mentioned, you're going to pop into driver's assistance, and from here it's going to give you a breakdown of your safety features, and if you want to go and adjust them, turn them on or off. So you can play around in here to learn more, and each of them gives a little bit of a blurb too, that way you know what it is that you're turning on or off. The center area, very easy to navigate. I like that all of these buttons do exactly as they say. Map is going to jump you into your phone's maps when they are paired. You have a search function, media screen, a favorites button, and then bring you back to that setup page too. For your climate control, real buttons. And when it comes to the fan direction, I like that they're all different buttons instead of having to press the same button 4 different times. But you still can, of course, turn on your front and rear defrost, adjust your fan strength and the temperature over here. It may look like this is far away, but it is still very easy to use from the driver's seat. Down below.
Can you demonstrate? Awesome.
I didn't even have to fully extend my arm, guys.
Yeah, there's a bend.
Yeah. Check that out. Down below, 2 USB-Cs, one for data transfer and connectivity or just charging, and a 12-volt. EX is... Stay.
Yeah, good push.
Thank you. EX also, I don't know why I did it like that. That was so uncomfortable for me. EX also starts with your wireless phone charger. Push to start as well. You're going to have auto hold as a safety feature. So on the interior, press that down, bring the vehicle to a full and complete stop with your braking, take your foot off the brake. It's going to hold you there till you put your foot back on the gas. Rear view camera as well, which will come up as the vehicle is put into reverse. And I really like the fact that we have a real gear shift. Cup holders, actually a lot of space in this middle area if you think about it. If you slide these into place, you have tons of space. Definitely can fit a Trenta-sized drink in there, which is what our vehicle ordering guide told us. And we got plastic. This comes standard with the vehicle if you want it. Decent amount of covered storage space, I will say. Put that back in there. And then up top is just going to be controls for lights, LED interior lighting as well, and standard Kia Connect, which is Kia's telematics system for roadside assistance and also for emergency assistance. But of course, you can still do things like precondition the cabin from the comfort of your own phone and turn on things like your heated seats. So very helpful, especially in the Canadian winters. If you don't want to use Kia Connect, you still have integrated remote start on your fob, which is very handy. But keep in mind, you can't actually set the cabin temperature with that. You can't for this car either, but also you have to use it in proximity. Let's take a look at the back seat. Oh my goodness, and guys, I was able to get out easily. It actually was not hard.
Oh, I don't know if you guys caught that, but your rear door handle is pillar mounted. So that's a fun thing about the K4.
Okay, this is good because Gabby gave her seat a decent amount of recline, so hopefully you can see 2 different options when it comes to legroom. The seats themselves, the back is going to double as like a coat rack or a bag holder, which is convenient to help keep the stuff, your stuff, off of the ground to give you more legroom and utilize some, more vertical storage. For some amenities that we have back here, we have vents and USB-Cs, so you're able to charge up and stay cool or warm at the same time. No drop-down armrest, you got to go up for that. But these are car seat compatible with sets of lower latch anchors, 2 sets of lower latch anchors, and then we have rear tethers as well. Show what the middle looks like. My knees are definitely up. This is like, I'm in like a birthing position here with my knees up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Definitely not the most comfortable seat. It wouldn't put your tallest person here, but if someone my size, not pregnant, is here, you're gonna be fine. And then again, with a good amount of recline, my knees still aren't touching the back of the seat, which is pretty good. And great amount of headroom, especially with not having a sunroof too.
Sorry, I'm gonna get closer. Can you show the headroom again?
Yeah. Headroom's right here.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, you guys. So that is the K4EX, pregnancy approved.
Gabby you could give birth in it. In the middle seat.
All right. If you're curious about the drivetrain, this vehicle is front-wheel drive only.
There we go.
Making the pregnant lady close the hood.
Always. It's part of my job description.
All right. Let's see. Bashar, most importantly, are your legs longer than your torso? They need to know.
Oh, yeah, I know, guys. No, I'm a long torso girl.
We're opposites.
Yeah.
All right. For some reason, the live chat is not loading on my screen.
Oh, what a shock.
No one has said
what
anything.
What a shock.
So I guess you guys have no questions, we perfectly explained everything that's in this car.
Yeah, duh. That's obviously that's obvious. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sorry, what were you trying to say?
Great question. Okay, let's take a look at some questions. Ryan has given us the MSRP and put that in the chat a couple times, but just to say it here, it is $26,495 Canadian. That is MSRP before fees and taxes.
It also says that one person is on. Shout out to that one person. Fog lights and rear vents. Rear vents, yes. Fog lights, no. Fog lights are on your GT line trims. They're actually integrated into the main light as well. So there's no separate fog light housing, if that makes sense. Or lower positioned fog lamps.
Willie asked, does Hyundai make a comparable vehicle? So that's good. The sister car is going to be the Elantra.
Can the dashboard display be switched to look like a traditional speedometer in TAC? No.
Not for this one. If you do go up and get the dual 12.3-inch screens, you can play around with some adjustments there. But not for this one. It's not digitized in that respect.
I feel like this isn't me saying it's going to happen. This is me just saying it sounds like it's totally possible and should happen. But I would feel with the software update, they may be able to get some new speedometer and tachometer options. Again, Kia has not said that's going to happen. This is total.
I mean, why wouldn't you be able to, right?
Exactly, right? I think it'd be cool to be able to customize your car in that sense, right? Do you rehearse your video/reviews? Never.
No.
Not at all.
We should.
Maybe we should, but no, we do not.
We should start doing that.
Most of the times, a lot of people are like, oh, what are you filming tomorrow? I don't know.
Right, I don't know. What's
we
here?
We have no idea.
We figure out every video the day of the video.
And sometimes we figure out what we think we're going to do, and then something happens, like the car has to go for tint or something, and
Yeah, it's rough out here. It's rough out here for the Kia Hyundai girls.
My Sonata does not have the cubes display. Is there any way I can add it? I'm not sure what cubes display you're talking about. Do you mean the gauge cluster? How there's like the hash marks for the speedometer and the tachometer? In that sense, no.
Now my chat wasn't loading. It was just yours.
What's going on, you guys?
Oh my goodness.
Rusty earlier on asked about how to get the Carnival Hybrid that was shown in our other video. So that one's actually a sold unit. You can't buy that one. But if you are looking to get a Carnival Hybrid, please call up our dealership. We're Brantford Kia, located at 214 Linden Road, Brantford, Ontario. What's
phone
our
number? 519-304-6542. If I ever go to prison, unfortunately, that's going to be the number I call, because that's the one that just comes to my mind.
Christian said it's impressive how you're able to pull these in one shot. Thank you.
We'll take it.
Yeah. I'm surprised there hasn't ever been a live where we're like 10 minutes in and we're like, you know what, this is so bad. We're going to try again.
You know, we get, well, we have restarted it due to tech problems.
Tech problems, yeah, but never like
we're just saying everything wrong. Like this is the 2025 Hyundai Elantra. You know?
It's a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
There's probably been some times where we should have, but we never did.
Yeah, those videos are still up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
David said, my daughter just got one, and it is for sure the best bang for your buck. Awesome. We think so.
Adele just asked, no misinformation Monday today. You better believe we're spreading misinformation on this fine Monday at 2:30 p.m.
So if you guys are still on, join us. We already have the stream set up, so go check it out, 2:30. Just dedicated Q&A to whatever it is your questions are.
Which we should probably end off today's video right now and get into that one next.
I think you're right. So stick around. We'll see you in like
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Bye.